All right, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. All praise to the Most High, Shalom, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Barakatham, and Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Shamaratham to everybody who's out there watching the class today. All praise to the Most High. We're going to do this really quickly. We're going to get right into the lesson. I am going to shout a couple of people out, and then we're going to get started, right? But this week, I'm dealing with Genesis chapter 40 and 41. Right? It's titled The Chronicles of Yawasap the Wise. So we're going to be going through the stories of Joseph in the book of Genesis, chapter 40 and 41. We're going to hit it. It's not really a lot of reading, so that's great. And it also leaves a lot of room for precepts and things like that. So if y'all have any comments, any precepts you want to bring out, definitely feel free to do so. And we're going to be getting into it, right? So, of course, I want to shout out the people that's in the chat real fast. We only got a couple people in here, but we got Joanne Gilchrist, Malka Yapa, Soldier Nadi Yab, Shalom King, and Admirect. All right, I hope I'm saying that correctly. All right, so all praise to the Most High. I want to jump right into it, man. I've been kind of on fire with this subject this week because I've been studying it, I've been researching it, I've been looking at different areas that I wouldn't normally study to get into this. So let's get right into it, man. First, I want to start with a story, though, right? And I told my rib this parable earlier, but I want to start with this parable as we're waiting on people to come into the class. Y'all put sevens in when you start coming in, right? So a man left his home country where they were experts at mining gold, diamonds, and other costly items. And I want y'all to listen to this too, right? He traveled to a new country, and the locals there told him, those things have no value here. We really value onions, right? So the dude is he's from another country, he's from another place, and the people of his hometown are experts at mining gold, diamonds, and other costly items. And so he travels to a new country. The locals there tell him, all that stuff that you used to having, that's cool, that's pretty, that's beautiful, but we don't deal with that over here. All we care about is onions, right? You pay for everything with onions over here, right? So to appease them and to fit into their society, he sold his gold, diamonds, and costly items, and he bought onions, right? He traded in all his gold and all his stuff for onions. The locals were very happy with him, and they got along very well, and he grew very rich there. One day, he decides to move back to his hometown. And upon arriving, the townspeople smelled the onions on his clothes and knew that something was different. He was rejected and counted as a fool by the villagers because he did not at least return with the gold, diamonds, and costly items that he left with. Now, this may sound like a parable that Yahushua would tell. And it's basically modeled and formatted after that same thing. The man is our spirit when we was originally with the Most High. So when we was in our hometown, right, and we were used to getting gold and diamonds and costly items, this is when we was in the spiritual realm, and all we cared about was the gold and the diamonds and the costly items. But as we came to earth, our spirit got acclimated to the new area that we was in. And now we not so much concerned with the gold, the diamonds, and the costly items no more. Now we concerned with clothes, we concerned with cars, we concerned with this, we concerned with that, sports, right? Mass media, we concerned with pop culture, we concerned with everything except for the gold and the diamonds that we used to be concerned with, right? The gold, the diamonds, and the costly items are the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahushua and the Most High. Right? So as we go through this spiritual walk, we got to hold on to that. And what you're going to see is when we read through this story of Genesis chapter 40, you're going to see that Joseph himself is very concerned with his spiritual identity and his spiritual heritage. Right? Now, he is in captivity, and we're going to see that, but he's also very connected to where he used to be. So much so that when his brothers show up, he know exactly who they are. right? So we're going to talk about that. The last thing is the onions are the worldly possessions. It's the worldly possessions. And imagine if your whole house was just onions. Your whole house was just collard greens or something like that. Something crazy, right? The whole house was fried chicken. It's like, bro, everywhere you go, you smell like onions. Everywhere you go, you smell like fried chicken now, right? This is a spiritual thing. So like if the only thing I'm thinking about all the time is money, how to get money, and how to make more money. After a while, I'm gonna start smelling like that in the spirit. It's gonna be an aura that surrounds me that the Most High gonna be like, this ain't the dude that I sent out there. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta stay in tune with who the Most High created us to be originally. And the villagers at the end of the parable are those who sit in the judgment. Because when you come to the kingdom, it says that there will be some that judge the 12 tribes of Israel, right? We got the 144,000. We got those who will be judging even the angels. So it's going to be those who sit in judgment, and you don't want to show up to that judgment seat smelling like onions. You don't want to show up to that judgment seat smelling like anything other than what you were sent here to get. You know what I'm saying? So that goes into, let me get Matthew 6 and 20 real quick. Now, actually, I'm just jump down to the point. I'm going to get Matthew 6 and 33. Right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 33. Again, you have heard that it have been said. Oh, Salakia, this is not the right chapter. Matthew 6 and 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. You see that? So we got to seek ye first the kingdom. So even though we in a foreign land, even though we in the land of our captivity, right, which we're going to touch on, but we in the land of our captivity, we were sent here to be prosperous, and we were sent here to mine and seek out the spiritual things, right? And that's what we're going to do. So with no further ado, let's jump right into the lesson. I'm going to start with Sirach chapter 39 before I hit the Torah portion, though, because it's something that we got to see, right? It's something that we got to see. Shalom to everybody else who's coming in. Brother Keziah's helpmate, Shalom. You got to Be Like Ants, Jayla Turner, right? And then I think I called out Admarek already. All right. Let me get Sirach 39 and verse 1. This is a very powerful precept to meditate on. So, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. He will give the sayings of Salakia. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. So remember, the only way for you to access this type of knowledge and understanding and discernment and be able to break down prayers and break down parables is what I meant to say. Break down parables and break down dreams and break down dark sayings that you see in the scriptures. You got to be tapped in with this, right? Because being tapped in is going to give you a certain level of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and you're going to be able to reach higher levels of understanding. When you see these dark sayings, they're going to click. They're going to start making sense because the Most High going to open that up for you, right? Let's keep going. Verse 4. He shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, for he have tried the good and evil among men. All praise to the Most High. So let's jump into it, man. This is Genesis chapter 40, right? So now we're looking at the story of Joseph. And as you know, we are approaching Passover season. So we got to get through Genesis before we get to Exodus. So y'all got to follow us on this journey. Follow us. Be doing the readings. Be keeping up with the readings so that when we get to the Exodus, you got the whole backstory of everything that happened before the book of Exodus started, right? Before we start the Passover. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 40 and verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them inward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them. And they continued a season inward. So it wasn't enough that that Joseph was in captivity, but Joseph is a servant of servants now. He's in captivity. He's in the prison house, and it's two other people that was kicked out of their office and put in the prison house, and Joseph is serving them. Right? So he at the bottom of the bottom right now. Right? But let's keep going. Verse 5. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to the Most High? Tell me them, I pray you. Now, Joseph is at the bottom of the bottom. We talk about this. He's in captivity, but he has not lost faith in the Most High, right? He's at the bottom of the pit. He's at the bottom of the abyss, but he has not lost faith in the Most High. And he's looking at this like, yo, don't the Most High give you the interpretation of dreams? Right? Now, let's start reading some precepts and let's see what he's talking about. Right? So we're going to go into Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. Let's see where Joseph gets this idea from. Amos chapter 3 and verse 7 says, Surely the Most High will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. So everything the Most High is doing behind the scenes, everything that the Most High is doing in general, he has revealed it to his prophets at one point in time or another, in one way or another, right? Because the Most High not just going off the cuff, right? Shalom to everybody who's still coming in the building, shalom. The Most High not just going off the cuff, man. Everything that he do is based on something he already said he was going to do and based on a promise that he already promised. So everything he's going to do is going to be revealed to the servants, the prophets, right? Now, let's keep going because it's a little bit more meat on this, right? Let me get Daniel chapter 2 and verse 20. Because all throughout the Bible, the same theme plays over and over again. This is Daniel chapter 2 and verse 20. And in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. Do you see that? And that's actually Salakia. That's Daniel 1 and 20. I read that on accident, but let's use that verse real quick. So Daniel 1 and 20 is giving us the background of where Daniel and the Hebrew friends that he had with him, how they rose to power in the land of captivity, right? And it was through their knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So Daniel chapter 1 and verse 20 gives us that background. Now let's jump over to Daniel 2 and 20. Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the Most High, the name of God forever and ever. For wisdom and might are his. Wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in darkness, and the light dwelleth in him. Do you see that? So the Most High knows all things, and he reveals the secret things. So the things that happen behind the scenes, the Most High is already tapped in and giving this to the prophets behind the scenes, right? So this is how this makes sense. This is how all these things play together. Let me give you one more precept. Let me get Job chapter 33 and 14. And I'm flying through them, but hey, if you need these precepts, pause the video, go back, do whatever you got to do, right? Hey, Shalom, King, what's going on?
How about you? Why was I sitting in the new moon link?
In the new moon?
It's the weirdest thing StreamYard's ever done.
Oh, it's all good. It don't matter. What's up? Yeah, I just need it back. All right. So look, let me get this real quick. Let me get this precept real quick. Job 33 and 14. I'm flying through these, but y'all let me know in the chat if you walking with me, right? Put a 7 if you walking with me. Put a 3 if I'm moving way too fast, right? I just need to gauge the crowd real quick. But if we all walk in lockstep, I'm gonna keep rolling, right? So I'm gonna give y'all a second.
You said Job 33 and 14.
Yeah, Job 33 and 14.
Are you waiting for them to get to it?
Yeah, I'm gonna let them say. I'm letting them put the 7s real quick. We're gonna see what they say, and then we'll go from there. Okay, cool. So we getting 7, and a lot of these precepts, you know, brothers and sisters done heard these precepts before. So all praises. Okay, Khan, all praises. So let's keep rolling, right? Give me Job 33 and 14.
It's the book of Job, chapter 33 and verse 14. For God spaketh once, yeah, twice, yet man perceiveth it not.
So the Most High spoke to you already before you had that dream, and before anything special and spectacular had to happen, the angel had to show up. Most High already revealed a lot of this stuff, right? He already revealed a lot of this stuff, but because we can't really discern certain messages that the Most High is trying to send to us, he'll make it plain by putting it in a dream or putting it in a spiritual vision, or while you're doing your Bible study, he just gonna make it plain upon tables for you, right? That's what this verse is saying. Keep going.
Time. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction.
Come on.
That he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man.
You see that? So these are the reasons why the Most High is doing these things. So he will come to you in a dream and reveal information to you because, quite frankly, you wasn't tapped into the spirit enough to know the information right off. So he had to jump into your dream. A lot of the times we're looking at it like, oh man, I had this dream. Most High really rocking with me. That could be true to a certain extent, but it's also people in the Bible who the Most High wasn't rocking with that had dreams, right? We know that Pilate, I believe it was Pilate, his wife had a dream, right? We know that earlier, what's the brother name in Genesis? I think it was Ahimelech or something like that. It was a couple of people that was not in the royal bloodline that had dreams, right? So we can't count it that every time I have a spiritual dream, it's a good thing. We got to look at it like this. The Most High is making his will known, and based on the interpretation of that dream, that's gonna let me know if the Most High rocking with me or not.
Like you.
Come on, go ahead.
The butler and the, what is it? It's not the butler.
Yeah, the butler and the baker.
The butler and the baker. You know what I'm saying? Like they both had dreams. You know what I'm saying? You have one who had one dream. I don't want to get into it, dude.
Yeah, we ain't got that far, but you talking right though. No, you're talking right.
One had one dream on a positive note, and the other one had a dream on the negative. Put it to you like that.
And that's excellent because that's how the Most High be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And to show you some balance, I got one more precept to show you some balance. Right? Let me get you Sirach 34 and 1. We always, anytime we teach dreams, we have to go into this because we want to make sure everybody's approaching their dreams with balance. Every single dream that you have is not a spiritual revelation from the Most High. It's a lot of people who think they seen white Jesus in their dream. So now they gonna worship white Jesus forever because they seen a white Jesus in their dream.
Okay.
Not knowing that subconsciously it was programmed and embedded there. So now when they had that dream, they just imagined it the way they thought he looked. But that ain't the real Hamashiach Yahushua.
Okay.
Right? But go ahead.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 34 and verse 1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools.
Come on.
Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind.
And we're going to tie this all together because it's going to make a point as we get down to verse 6, right? So read down to verse 6.
God, the vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from that thing which is false, what truth can come? Divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain, and the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail. If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them.
That's the key right there. If that dream is not from the Most High, and I'm going to give you a couple of keys that you could think about to test whether it's from the Most High, and then we're going to get back into Joseph. But if that dream is not from the Most High, it's a vain dream, and you may as well not pay no attention to it, because we dealing with catching shadows, and you just you grasping at the wind, and you're never going to grab nothing, right? Because there's no real substance there. So how do we know when a dream is from the Most High? Right? Y'all put that in the chat. I'm going to let a couple people jump in the chat. How do you know when a dream is from the Most High? If you have a dream tonight, or if you have a dream tomorrow, how do you know that dream is from the Most High? What's your test? Do you have an example? What do you think? What would you say? What's your test when a dream is from the Most High? Or do you have a test? What would be your first thing that you ask yourself to prove whether it's from the Most High?
Is it a good or bad thing?
Okay, is it a good or bad thing?
Or is it something like symbolic or biblical?
Okay, there you go. So is it something in accordance with what the Most High will have you do anyway? Right? So I'm gonna tell you the things that I had. Y'all said a couple of the things that I said. What is the purpose of the dream? Right? Is the purpose of this dream so I can get a whole bunch of money and be rich out here and be living like a king? Because I'm gonna be very weary of a dream like that. I'm not gonna really believe that that's the Most High. It could be in the cards, but I'm gonna come to that dream a little bit different. Like, oh, okay, that's the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Am I chasing women in the dream? Am I smoking weed in the dream? Am I fighting brothers at the club in the dream? Like, what am I doing? This is gonna be the very first test to let me know if this dream comes from the Most High. Right? Second thing, is it discernible? You ever had one of them dreams where you had a dream and the dream just didn't make no sense? Like, you just woke up and you was like, what? And then you was like, all right, cool, let me go about my day, man. Like, dream be so loopy, it's not even coherent. Like, it just don't make, like, I was in the store and all the cereal boxes was floating, so I was trying to grab them, and then next thing I know, I'm in the car driving and the music too loud. It's like, okay, that dream may not have meant anything.
I'll be real with you, Adewine.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have lesser and less dreams nowadays than I ever have, for real. I used to have dreams all the time, and the dreams that I would have would be like nightmares.
Yeah.
I don't know if it had to do with something I ate or whatever I was watching. But I had a close friend of mine who told me this, and I don't want to be long with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, scary movies and things like that, you have to look at it like this. There's a scary movie that you're watching, and whatever that's happening to the person in the scary movie, you didn't think about the person that's getting this on videotape. Ain't nothing happening to them.
Yeah.
So he was like, you got to go at your dreams. And I was like, maybe instead of me running from whatever it is I'm fearing from the dream, I need to go towards it.
Yeah.
And from there, a lot of stuff started changing with the dreams. Like, it stopped. A lot of stuff started going away. Like, I really wasn't having dreams anymore. I'm trying to think of a dream that I recently had, because I had a dream, but I'm like, I don't even regard it or think about it for real, because I'm like, it wasn't nothing that was the Most High for real.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to for me. Like, if I'm having a dream, because I will have a dream, a spiritual dream, but I will also have some loopy dreams where it just don't mean nothing, and I just know, like, I was tired and my brain wasn't all the way shut down when I went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That type of thing. Or like maybe the TV was on, and like in my dream, I'm hearing the stuff that was going on in the TV, right? Certain things like that might happen. So these are tests that we can run to be like, all right, cool. Did the Most High send me this? So the first one was, what is the purpose? Is it discernible? Can I bring this to a wise man and he'd be able to break it down, right? Did I remember the dream? Because I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of dreams you have that you don't remember. And to me, you're not supposed to remember that. You're not supposed to remember that dream for whatever reason, or you're not supposed to remember it right now. You'll remember it later when something happens. You'll be like, yo, I dreamed about this, right? So these are the things that I'm talking about, right? These are the different steps we could take. And the very last thing I would say is, does it inspire you to serve the Most High in spirit and truth? Right? If I have a dream and the dream is very real, but I'm sinning and breaking the commandments in the dream, it might have been a test. It might have been like, yo, your spirit ain't right. Why you failed that test in that dream? You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to stay on that too long, but dreams are a very important aspect of the scriptures in our spiritual life. So if anybody is acclimated to having dreams, I wanted to make sure I hit those precepts so you can understand that some of them are real and some of them are vanity, right?
It's like it.
Let's go back. Go ahead. You was going to say something?
I just wanted to read verse 7 real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it concludes saying, for dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them. So it's like you can't put all of your focus into a dream that you really can't, that you can't go to the scripture and it give you some type of understanding to, or give you some light to it. You know, some dreams are just there to like in your mind, because that's what your body does. That's what your brain does when you go to sleep. They say you dream all the time when you sleep. So I'm not even going to say I don't have dreams for real. I just don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, and look, I think if the Most High wants you to remember certain dreams, you gonna remember that dream.
Exactly.
Because the Most High wants you to remember it. So like when we looking at Joseph's dreams, when we looking at the butler and the baker's dreams, they woke up and they was perplexed. Like, nah, man, I got to figure this out.
Right.
That's the spirit they was on. And that's going back to the ancient world, how people lived in the ancient world, which I'm not going to get into that conversation, but people was more in tune with the spiritual things in the ancient world. Right now, we more in tune with the physical things, right? Cell phones and whatever. But if you're talking to Cat Williams, he might say they had cell phones in the ancient world. So hey, but anyway, we're gonna get into that. So y'all seen it?
Battery.
He got doctrines.
I heard they said they had a battery way back.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I heard a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say they didn't have no technology, but cell phones, come on. So
yeah.
they have no cell phones. All right, let's keep going. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 40, and we're gonna start at verse 9.
Verse 9. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine there were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner when thou wast his butler.
You see that? So Joseph broke that dream down immediately and was like, yo, this was gonna happen. But watch what happens to the next one, right? Well, after we read verse 14 and 15.
Okay. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and shew kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon.
Okay, let's keep going.
When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there was of all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee.
You see that? So the first guy, he got a good dream, right? He got a good dream. He was going to be re-elevated back to his position. But the second guy, he was going to be hung. He was going to be executed, right? So some of these dreams that you having, these spiritual dreams that you having, it can go either way. It can be a thing where the Most High is trying to build you up, or he's trying to give you a warning that he's going to destroy you. The question is, are you tapped in and can you see which side you on? Right. And I just want to harp on self-reflection. Like, we got to do a lot of self-reflection as Israel. We do a lot. We spend a lot of time talking about Esau. We spend a lot of time talking about everybody else. Self-reflection will get you to the kingdom, right? That will get you to the kingdom. That will make sure. Matter of fact, let's get Proverbs 4:23 real quick. Proverbs 4:23, because this will get you to the kingdom. Worrying about other people ain't gonna get you nowhere. Go ahead.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
You see that? So all of the issues of life come out of your heart, come out of your spirit, come out of your mind. And however your mind is set up, that's how you're gonna act, that's how you're gonna think, that's how you're gonna behave. So if we don't lock that down, you know what I'm saying? We could be having a dream and thinking that it's all good, and then show up at the judgment, and the Most High like, yo, I never knew you.
Right.
Yawasap, like, I never knew you. And then that's when you're gonna go through the whole thing, Matthew chapter 7, right? Didn't I prophesy in your name? I was at camp every week. Right? I was at camp every week. I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna actually teach later. And this is hard to be understood. Every week I say this. I say something controversial every week, and I say something hard to be understood every week, but it's fine. Right? But there's going to be people in the judgment who are rejected, that went to camp, that made videos, that posted Bible verses in the chat. There's going to be people like that who don't make the kingdom, because that's not the end goal of this walk, right? The end goal of this walk is not, as long as I'm going to camp and putting verses in the chat and teaching classes, the Most High gonna rock with. No, we do that as a means to help teach the people. We do that as a means to bring the sheep, the lost sheep, into the fold. But that's not the end goal. The end goal is to build something and have fruit left behind that the Most High will enjoy. That's the end goal. So I ain't gonna stay on that too long. If you want to say something, you can.
Well, nah, I mean, just to add on to the keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
Yeah.
That was what I was talking about earlier, because it was brought up, you know what I'm saying, the heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. And I'm like, well, you know, that's not talking about your actual heart. Like, does your heart deceive you? Can your heart deceive you and like not beat? You know what I'm saying? Right. It has a functionality, what it's supposed to do. Like, it pumps the blood and everything like that. So in the Bible, it's talking about your heart. In some cases, it's actually talking about your mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's certain things that we got to be able to understand when we read in this, you know. But that's all I had. I yield.
Nah, that's an excellent point to bring out. It's an excellent point to bring out. All right, let's keep going. Let's go back to verse 20.
Yeah, this is when that'll get interesting right here.
Oh yeah.
You know, verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants.
Now stop. This is the first mention of a birthday in the Bible. Mm-hmm. First mention of a birthday in the Bible, and it's not being done by anybody holy. It's not being done by any of the prophets. It's not being done by any of the forefathers. In fact, it's not being done by any Hebrews, according to our estimation and what we can read.
Right.
It's being done by the Egyptians, the people who the Most High wants the most separation between, right? The Most High wants the most separation between the Israelites and the Egyptians, and we're going to demonstrate that later. But those people was keeping birthdays. Now, check this out. This is what's so cold about this. Let me pull this up in the Hebrew real quick, because I want to triple check something real fast. So let me see something. Genesis 40 and 20, right? All right, pull this up. Okay. So this is literally his birthday, and we're going to show you that in the Hebrew. That's why I wanted to pull this up. It's going to take forever. Let's just do it like this. All right, watch this. You see that?
Yeah, blow it up.
Okay. Yeah, is that on the screen though?
Kind of one.
Okay. Yep, kind. So look at this. And it came to pass on the day, or in the day, right? It could be either one. The third day of the birth of Pharaoh. So this is literally his birthday, right? No way around it. So he celebrated his birthday. Now, keep in mind, and Captain Aharon broke this down beautifully on his class, right? Keep in mind that Pharaoh was a god of sorts to the Egyptians, right? They didn't hold him as a regular man. They held him as a god. So on the day of his birth, of course, it was a special day. This is something that everybody celebrated. I bet you the regular people, I couldn't prove this, but the regular people in Egypt may not have kept their birthdays. But the Pharaoh's birthday was definitely to be kept and to be revered, right? And it says here, this is what's so cold. It says here that Pharaoh on his birthday, hey, Shalom, there you go right there. Look how the spirit be working. And look, Aharon, I was just telling him, you just taught this on birthdays, right? Genesis 40 and 20. And Pharaoh was supposed to be like a god to the people. So he commanded his whole kingdom that they were supposed to worship and revere him on this day, right? So this is what's so cold. In America, when you celebrate a birthday, you're not associating a birthday with, yo, I'm gonna have fun today, but I'm also gonna kill my enemies today, right? You don't think about birthdays like that. But the very first birthday in the scripture was celebrated with the death of somebody that the Pharaoh had an ought against, right? So this is not a day to model our lives after. This is not a situation where I should be like, birthday is in the Bible. I'm gonna do a birthday. No, this story is being told to show you the negative influence that birthdays brought into the nation of Egypt, number one. But number two, it did bring Joseph up in stature because he's a part of this story, but it's a negative situation. And this is not being carried out or portrayed by the Israelite culture or anybody in the royal bloodline.
Thanks.
Right? If you had any points on that, you can hit it. That's basically all I was going to say for birthdays.
Hey man, anytime you see that being brought up, it's always something the other nations are doing in worship. Yeah. And it's surprisingly, it's like you either hear something about it being forced, like in the book of Maccabees, or in this case, or in the New Testament, right? Later on, with Joseph the Baptist, you know what I'm saying? Somebody dies.
Correct.
You know
Correct. John the Baptist.
John the Baptist.
Yeah. That's right.
Joseph.
Yeah, you said Joseph. But hey, Joseph was baptizing people too, man, in the wisdom.
In the word.
Right. We're gonna get into it. All right. So I'm not mad, man. I'm just saying, let the other nations have what they have. Why you want to be the other nations?
Hey.
Right. Go ahead.
Hey, I just gotta bring it out since you spoke on that. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And in the book of Jeremiah 10:3, it says, "For the customs of the people are vain."
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that this goes into as far as cutting down a tree, which they keep the holiday of Christmas and things like that. But it's not just that. It's whatever customs that they do.
Right.
Whatever customs that they do, it's in vain. It's not in service of the Most High or in reverence of the Most High.
Right.
When you're celebrating your birthday, you're not doing that to give glory and honor to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing that for your own self enjoyment or your own self pleasure, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, all praises to the Most High, you made it to another year. But I'm like, what does that have to do with tomorrow or the next day? Because you putting this above any other day. Like, what if you died the next day? Then what?
Hey, check this out. This was so cold too. Your birthday is a fixed. Your birthday, this gonna cut everybody. They want to still keep their birthdays. Your birthday is affixed to the Gregorian calendar. You don't even count your birthday based on the Hebrew cycle. You don't even. There is no way for you to say, "I was born in the 7th month on the 13th day of the month," because you don't know that, and your parents didn't know that.
Right.
I was born 3 days after the 3rd full moon. Like, you don't even know that. So you have literally affixed your birthday to the Gregorian calendar, and then it's based on a solar year cycle. And the Hebrews kept a solar lunar calendar, right? We took into account the moon. So if you are only going to be leaning on the Gregorian calendar, you already out of your culture.
Right.
Right? We got to think about these things. So we're not sitting here telling you can't Barakatah Yahweh on the day that you was born. You should do that. You should be doing that every other day too.
Exactly.
But you should definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? But who told you to wait 365 days and then bingo, this is the special day? That don't even make sense.
Right.
All right. I wanted to go back. Let's go back and let's keep reading this story. Let's jump to verse 21.
Verse 21. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him.
Okay, let's keep going.
I thought this was deep.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The reason why I want to go into that, because I thought this was deep, because in that moment, Joseph's like, remember me and everything like that, right?
Right.
But somebody, I don't know what people would say, like, he just forgot about him. But if you think about everything that was going on in that time, like whatever emotions could have been on him, one, the vision that Joseph interpreted for him, it came to pass. The vision that Joseph interpreted for the baker, it came to pass. And he got to witness that and see it. So in that moment, like, his mindset, as far as remembering him at the moment, probably left him, because he like, oh, it really, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And that man died in front of my face. So
yeah,
I don't want people to look down at it, like at the butler, like, you know what I'm saying? He just left him hanging or something like that. Like, actually think about like what he could have been dealing with, like, in that moment,
Yeah. And it's interesting too. I think it shows also his disconnect from the spiritual. Like you said, it's two. I think it's two sides of it. The other side would be he's disconnected, because if I see a man who just told me the interpretation of a dream, or he just broke something down that nobody else could break down, I'm never gonna forget that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, yo, this dude, before I got out of here, he told me I was gonna get out, and he told me the other dude was gonna get killed, and that jump went down just like that.
Right.
But I think the Most High left him there because the Most High had a greater position for him. And this is what's gonna happen, right? We're gonna see that. Let's keep going.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 41 and verse 1. And it came to pass, At the end of 2 full years, that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. Behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine, and fat-fleshed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed the second time, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears, and Pharaoh woke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof, and Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh.
Real quick, what's the Most High doing right now? Right, and we're gonna get further into it, but what's the Most High doing right now? Somebody put it in the chat. If you following the story, what's the Most High doing? So Joseph has been sent to Egypt. He was in the dungeon. He see the baker and the butler. He interprets their dream. He tell one of them, "Yo, remember me." Right now, this guy is considerably lower than the Pharaoh. Right, and that guy forgets Joseph. Now Pharaoh himself having a dream, and Joseph just happened to be in position. Right, we ain't got to that point yet. What is the Most High doing? Right? Do y'all see this? I want to see if y'all see it before it comes. And most of us know the story. I want to see what y'all say on this. What is the Most High doing? And this is what I always mean by the Most High. He plays chess. The Most High is a chess player. He's setting up the checkmate every time. Right? And when he put his people in a position that he's going to put them in, it's going to literally be the perfect position. And that's kind of what he's doing. He moving things around. He making preliminary moves. You know how you got to be 3 or 4 steps ahead? He making them preliminary moves. He getting rid of some pawns and moving them out the way. And he just setting the whole board up. There you go. There you go. Right? Look at this. He's showing his might. So, and we're gonna get to this, but he got the wise men of Egypt. Now remember, Egypt is a world power at this time. Egypt is a world power, and all the earth is coming to Egypt. And we're gonna see that later in this story. But all the earth comes to Egypt for various things, right? For knowledge, for wisdom, for the Nile Valley, and all the things that they was able to provide to the ancient world, right? Mm-hmm. And the wisest men on the earth probably some of them live in Egypt.
Yeah.
Right? You see what I'm saying? And what the Most High is doing is saying, yo, you see all your wise men? They don't mean nothing. Watch this. And gave Pharaoh a dream that nobody could interpret. And we see the same thing happen with Daniel, right? Daniel's in the kingdom of Belshazzar, and the writing is on the wall, and nobody could interpret it but Daniel. Right? So it's all the same thing. And then look what she said, right? She said, Salakia. She said, making Joseph valuable to Pharaoh. That's right. Because the Most High playing chess. He moving things around. He's going to make Joseph very valuable. He's raising the stock of Joseph. And what's going to happen is he's going to turn the heart of Pharaoh. And all of this is going to be for the children of Israel's benefit, right? So let's keep going.
Okay. Verse 9. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my thoughts this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night. I and he, we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream, he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged.
So now this dude remembers. 2 years later, I've been in prison, waiting on you to remember. Now you remember. But you know what? That was all the will of the Most High.
God.
Right? So sometimes, this when we get into this again, sometimes when things ain't happening on your time scale, it's because the Most High was setting something up. You sitting back like, oh man, if this don't happen this week, everything gonna fall through. Maybe it need to fall through. Maybe it's another path that you're supposed to be on. Maybe you chasing after a dream that was not supposed to be chased. Right? So these are all things we got to keep in mind. We got to remember Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good of them who love the Most High and who are the called according to his purpose. So if everything works together for good, then whatever the Most High do, I'm good with that. If the door is open, it's open. If it's closed, it's closed. Right? That's how we got to be moving. All right. And if you pay attention to the story, Joseph never lost patience. We don't see a part in this story where Joseph's kicking the walls and fighting the other prisoners. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't see that in the story because I feel like he was a wise man and he was patient and he understood that the Most High was doing something. He didn't know what it was, but he knew the Most High was doing something. All right. Yeah. Let me get that precept she pulled real quick. Romans 5:3.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 5 and verse 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us.
Hey, the water for that precept. That's an excellent precept, right? We glory in tribulation because that tribulation is going to teach us patience. And as we learn patience, that patience is going to give us experience. So now the next brother who come through along the same line, I'm like, yo, bro, you only been going through this for 6 months. I had to do this for 2 years. You're going to be good. Calm down, right? Now I'm a source of strength for somebody else. Now I'm a helping hand. Now I can be empathetic to somebody else because I understand what they're going through and I've been there before. And that experience is going to bring hope because through that experience that I share with you, now you can have hope that the Most High haven't forgot about you because he ain't forgot about this brother. You see what I'm saying? That's a beautiful precept. All praises. Right, let's keep going. Verse 14, and then I'm going to stop you again.
Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself and changed his raiment and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph,
stop. I want to stop there real quick. So Pharaoh sent and called Joseph. They brought him out hastily out of the dungeon. He shaved himself, changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. Why did he shave himself and change his raiment? You following? Why did he shave himself and change his raiment? What's raiment in the scripture? Okay, that's your clothing, your garments.
Maybe he didn't want to come into the king with like the dirty clothes and stuff.
Okay,
he was in jail.
Right, because he was in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Right, and he was dirty. He was a dirty prisoner. Nobody even cared about him. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, hold up, we got to bring him before the king. Give him a shower. Give him, you know what I'm saying? Do whatever you gotta do and bring him into the king. Remember the story of Esther when they had her go through all these rituals for however many months, and she had to be prepared for the king, right? So think about this process. Now, we always kind of think of this as a good thing. Oh man, you getting a free shower. It's not really a good thing. Think about this. Joseph had to shave.
Like his beard too?
Have you ever seen the Egyptians?
Oh,
one thing about the Egyptian spiritual system is, and I don't want to speak to this wrongly, but one of the things at certain points in time in the Egyptian thought process is that hair is unclean. So they would shave their heads bald. They would shave off certain parts of their hair and just be bald, right? So this is a heavy reason why there are certain laws in Israel why men can't do this. And when we look at the ancient Egyptians and the Commissions, right? Even today, we look at some of the Commissions today, they feminine. They mad effeminate because they shaving off their hair, but they carry themselves with a certain type of energy, right? And the Most High designed Israel to be so far away from that energy that he literally gave us laws that would stop us and cause us to go in the exact opposite direction. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, right? So give me Leviticus 21:5 real quick. Leviticus 21:5. And actually start at verse 1.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 21 and verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, speak unto the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say unto them, there shall none be defiled for the dead among his people.
Okay, so who are we talking to? We're talking to the priests, the sons of Aaron. Right? Jump down to verse 5.
Verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
So the Most High gave them a law that would directly distinguish them from the Egyptians. This is one law. I'm going to show you another example. Give me Exodus 8:22. Exodus 8:22. The Most High went to great lengths to make sure that the children of Israel were 100% distinguishable from the Egyptians. Right? And we're going to make this point. But go ahead.
There's the book of Exodus chapter 8 and verse 22. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth.
Next verse.
Okay. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be.
You see that? And we know what Exodus 11:6 says, right? So the Most High says this multiple times, that there's a difference between the children of Israel and the Egyptians. Multiple times that we are not to learn the ways of the heathens, and multiple different laws he gives us that the Egyptians would have thought was abominable. Right? The same way we think pigs are abominable, the Egyptians would have thought sheep were abominable. So it's certain things that we did that was the exact spiritual opposite of what Egypt was doing. Well, check this out. What's the word evil in the Hebrew? Let me pull this up for y'all real quick. pull up the word evil in the Hebrew. What you got?
So like it says in Egypt they had like the flesh pots and stuff. They would have like pork skins. They were eating the pig, but like Israelites, like for Passover, we be eating lamb. Like that's like the holy food for us.
Right, and think about it. What's so cold is we did that where? In Egypt.
Exactly.
So it's almost like the Most High was like, yo, we literally are gonna be the exact opposite. I designed my people, to be the exact opposite of what these Egyptians are out here doing. But y'all want to celebrate birthdays. Right? Watch this. This is the word evil in Hebrew. This is the word evil in Hebrew. It's pronounced ra. If we want to say it in Lashawan, then we would say rai. Right? We would say rai. But Ra is evil. What is one of the chief deities of Egypt's name?
Ra.
Ra. So what's very interesting about this connection is that on a psychological, linguistic level, the Most High gave us the word Ra that means evil, but that's the God of the nation that we left. It's a direct connection psychologically now, subconsciously, that Ra is evil. Literally, our entire society is the antithesis of Egypt. Our entire society. Their top man was supposed to be God. Our top man worships God, and he's a servant. Our top man said, "I came not to be served, but I came not to be served, but to serve." Right? That's what our top man said, and our top man said, "It is meet for the servant to be as his master." Right? And Christ was teaching us that if he's a servant, what we supposed to be? Servants. In Egypt, they had the classism. You know, you had the elites, and you had the pharaohs who was God, who was turned into God when he died, and he was embalmed, and his body was gonna be left over for him. But the normal people was just there to decay and decay away, right?
Right.
Because they had no regard for the normal man. So this is why the Most High wanted us to be the exact opposite of what Egypt became. All right. Anyway, I ain't gonna stay on that too long. Let's keep going.
Okay. Verse 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace.
Hold up. Of what?
An answer of peace.
Wow. So I want to ask y'all a question. And I'm not going to get into this all the way right here, but I'm going to get into it before we close this lesson. How can the Most High give Pharaoh an answer of peace? This is something that we need to actually sit back and think about. Give me Jeremiah 29 real quick. Jeremiah 29, let's start at verse, I believe it's 14. I'm going to show y'all something that we missing. We missing this.
At 14 or you want 11?
No. Hold on. I always call this wrong. Give me Jeremiah 29 and verse 4. I said 14. I always call that wrong.
Okay. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29 and verse 4. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat fruit of them. Take ye wives and begat sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there and not diminished.
Stop. Right here it says, take wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that you may bear sons and daughters, and be increased there and not diminished. This is in the land of captivity. The Most High, through Jeremiah, was telling them, when you go into captivity, continue to procreate. Don't stay there and try to die off because you in mourning. Don't stay there and be mad because you in captivity. Make the best of your captivity.
Right.
But I'm going to show you something, right? And I want to ask y'all a question. Are we able, this is a question that we got to approach with maturity. Are we able to look at this text and say, hold up, maybe I've been looking at this wrong? I want to ask you a question. What does it mean to prefer one another? And what does it mean to hate the other nations? What do these two concepts represent? Right? When I hate the other nations, does that mean that everything they do, I hope it fail? Does it mean that? I need y'all to answer that. What you think? What you think? If I hate Moab, everything he do, I want it to fail? Yes or no?
Well, not necessarily, because if you're under them, if you're in captivity with them, you don't want them to fail because that means you'll fail too.
Okay. He just said, if I'm under them, I don't want them to fail, because when they fail, I fail. Now, this is we not talk about in the context of salvation, because we know for salvation to come, the other nations have to fail and be destroyed, and we want that for sure. But think about it. Joseph was just in prison for 2 full years because a dude forgot about him. Imagine the anger that you experiencing right now. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, bro, let me get up out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me get up out of here. But think about this. The Most High did all that so that he could be in the position that he's in now. And when he gets out, he does not first say, I want everything y'all do to fail. In fact, he says the exact opposite. And I just want to ask, are we moving in that spirit? Are we moving in that spirit? Because through me showing my wisdom to the earth, as Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6 says I should do, the other nations are supposed to say, these brothers is wise. This brother Boaz wise. I can't even be mad at him. Right? I can't even be mad. I know he walk around with the darn fringes on, man. I know he talking about the commandments, but I actually cannot be mad at this brother because he holding me down at my business. He holding me down in my place of operation. This is what actually brought Joseph to the stature that he's at. I want you to read the next verse in Jeremiah 29. Read verse 7.
Come. And seek the peace of the city whither I have caused you to be carried away captives. And pray unto the Lord for it, for in the peace thereof shall ye have peace.
In the peace of that city, in the peace of that captivity, in the peace of that plantation that the Most High blessed you to have a job at, in the peace of all that, you're going to prosper, especially if you're showing your wisdom and the Most High put you there to raise up in the ranks. That's all I'm saying. So we really got to move with a different spirit. Like, it's not even an option at this point. If you trying to be on a Joseph type time, you're not going to hold grudge. And we see the same thing with the children of Israel. When the children of Israel come back into Egypt, after they done did him dirty and did him greasy, he didn't take that as an opportunity. Yo, I'm about to destroy y'all. Y'all finish. He didn't do that. He didn't do it. What he did was he tested them to see if they had learned a lesson. And when he saw that the damage had been done, and we're going to get into that next week. But when he saw all of that, he sat back and he was like, all right, I forgive them. You know what I'm saying? That's the spirit, bro. That's the spirit. And that literally puts you on a positive vibration. Like, I'm serious, bro. We be spending too much time being mad at our oppressors. This was so cold. This was so cold. And I've been in this boat. This was so cold. We will pray to the Most High for a job. Get the job. And then call brothers on the phone. Man, I gotta go to this damn plantation. Like, the Most High sitting up there like, yo, like, you ain't praying for this?
Yeah, I gave you the job. Like, this what you wanted. Now you hate it.
You see what I'm saying, bro? It's almost like you biting the hand that feeds you. The Most High literally moved the chess pieces around, put you where you need to be at. And now you like, man, I can't wait for this place to burn, man. The damn Edomites at my job, man. Bro, I understand. But when you can't wait for this place to burn, but you're not allowing your brothers and sisters a chance to repent. If Joseph comes up to Pharaoh and the baker and the butler, and he like, I ain't telling y'all niggas nothing, man. Right? I'm not telling y'all nothing. I hope you die. And the Most High got my back. If he would have said that, Joseph would have still been in prison. He would have said that to the Pharaoh. The Most High would have had to do a miracle. Like, you get what I'm saying? It would have been on some Daniel type stuff. Like, it would have been a totally different story. Mm-hmm. But because he did it the way he did it, he was in position to bless the children of Israel and make sure they wasn't jacked up.
That's real.
That's it.
All
right. Yeah, Con, please jump in there whenever you got to.
Nah, because I'm like, I be wanting I'm a positive person, or I try to be positive. Why? Because I think a lot of negatively. You know what I'm saying? So to combat that, I want to be happy and all kind of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When I call brothers and I'll be like, Shalom, Mike, how's it going? You know what I'm saying? They like, how's work going? I'm like, work's work. I'm sitting back here messing around with these floods,
Yeah.
And do my thing or whatever like that. I'm like, how about you? And they be like, slaving at the plantation. And I'm like,
yeah, and then bring you back down.
Like, and I'm like, man, I know this ain't where brothers want to be at, but I will say this, like, it's good. Like, we should be a good cheer to be able to slave or have the ability, the mobility to be able to move and put in the work and effort to be able to provide for ourselves and for our households.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we could be vegetable, like I can't think of the dude's name, but he's super smart and he in a chair and he like this. You know what I'm saying? Talk with his fingers or whatever like that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna fall for that. That dude ain't saying nothing. They got a computer saying that. I'm gonna be quiet. If I get canceled. Go ahead. Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Is the position, do I want my position to be better? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But what do I need to do? Yeah, Stephen Hawking. Yep. But what do I need to do to get there? Like, the Most High gave me the ability to have a great mind, to be able to think. Yeah. I'll be having ideas. I've been talking to my boss. I'm talking to him. I'm like, we got to elevate. We got to grow. The company got to grow. Because if you elevate, that means I elevate.
All right. That's all I'm saying. That's right.
So,
and I think, you know what, there is a place, because Aaron brought a great point a couple of weeks. He been hitting this for a couple of weeks. We need for what's it called? For mental health purposes, right? And to be in accordance with the scriptures, we need to be able to sigh and cry. Right, we need to be able to mourn for Israel and the atrocities that we're going through. We need to be able to sit back and be in sackcloth and ashes. Right, when the Day of Atonement comes, you're not supposed to be running around the house happy. Like, you're supposed to actually take this time to be mournful and be repenting and all that type of stuff. Right, these are definitely things that there's a place for. But what I'm trying to say is that, like the brother just said, keep in mind that when you always have that spirit, you might be bringing somebody else down. And think about it. I can't imagine calling Joseph on the phone. And he like, man, I'm so happy you called, man. I hate these damn Egyptians. It's like, bro, I need you to be the source of wisdom for me right now. Right? If you Joseph, I need you to be the source of wisdom for me. And Joseph was a very wise man. And I just feel like he actually wanted the best outcome. When we read the book of Daniel, what does he say? He said the king lived forever. Now we know that Daniel was moving in the spirit. You think Daniel was speaking with guile? Or you think Daniel was just saying that because everybody else was saying it? Or do you think Daniel was really like, nah, man, I hope it go well for you. I know the Most High gonna do what he gonna do, but I really hope that this works out while I'm here. And I'm gonna give you the best advice that I know of to give you. Right? Because he's the top man. He the top man there in that captivity. He had power to look out for his people the same way Esther had power to look out for her people. All those things she had to go through was nasty and disgusting.
You're speaking on a powerful point, Adawan, because it was just recently brought out. I was out to eat with my sister because she in town from Texas. She's looking at the news behind me and is talking about how something's going on. They talking about something that's going to happen again that happened before when Donald Trump, I guess he said if he doesn't get elected again, It's going blood.
The insurrection thing and all that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she's like, you know, he wants a war and everything. Well, you know, there's a lot of us in Israel who be like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? He can get in there, we can get the war popping because then it's going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we thinking like that, but are we really thinking about the people, our people, what that could do with us or what that could do with you or your house? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we really ready and prepared for that for real? Because we speak on it like we ready and stuff for real. And it's like, we ain't got missiles and nukes and everything like that. Brothers got, you know, some knives, some guns, machetes. I got a couple axes in the back or whatever for real. But I'm like, if a person got a crazy computer with a drone in the air and it's heat seeking and it sees me and he decide to drop something because it see me, yo, I ain't got nothing to combat that.
Yo, think about this too. Think about this. All of us ain't right with the Most High. You know how arrogant we gotta be to sit back and say, I can't wait for this place to be destroyed, as if you guarantee the kingdom right now. You not guaranteed the kingdom. Like, we really cannot afford for this thing to be over right now. I need some more time to repent and to keep praying for my family members. And when the Most High say the time is up, then blessed be the Most High. He said the time is up. But until then, I need more time to fast and pray for my people. I need more time to cry and sigh for the abomination. Like, this is the spirit that I'm talking about, right? And so that's all. Like, I'm with it. The missiles got to come. The destruction must come. All praises to the Most High. We hope it comes swiftly. But in the meantime, I'm only focused on making sure I'm right and making sure that my family members get in there too, right? And watch this. I want to show you this before we go back. So go back to verse 16 in Genesis. Let's hit this point one more time. Listen to what Joseph said to Pharaoh. All right, go ahead.
And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace.
All right, come on.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, in my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill and the lean and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine, and when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I woke, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me.
Now, I want to ask y'all a question. Joseph is in the land of his captivity. He's been in prison for 2 years. People treating him like crap. He's serving the people that's in the prison. So he the bottom of the bottom. He just got a shower for the first time. I'm just throwing this out. Like, this ain't the modern world. People wasn't taking showers every day in ancient Egypt 5,000 years ago, bro. So this man just getting the shower, right? Maybe for the first time in a month. Who knows? Maybe they got a little water spring down there or something. But he just now getting a change of clothing. And he been treated like crap this whole time. And he wasn't even supposed to be there. And he was sold into slavery just to be there. This is his chance to destroy the whole kingdom of Egypt. He could be like, yo, I know the Most High told me the interpretation thereof, but you never gonna know. This place going down, right? And I'm going back to my people's house. He didn't do that. He had the opportunity in his hand. And look what Joseph did. And I want to ask you, is your spirit in the place right now where if you had the opportunity in your hand, would you seek counsel from the Lord first, or would you destroy this place first?
Mm.
And I want you to think about, we talked about this when we read Genesis chapter 18 with Abraham. Abraham had the opportunity to allow, when the Most High said, I'm about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, he could have jumped for joy and be like, cool, because them motherfuckers is wicked. Right? But he didn't do that. He was like, yo, what if you find 5 people? What if you find 6? When we gonna get this spirit that Abraham and the forefathers had? That's all I'm asking, right? But keep going.
Verse 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath shewed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. And the dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears, blasted with the east wind, shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he sheweth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now, therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt.
Hold on real quick. So let's say that I want to ask y'all a case study question real quick, right? What if, and I want to ask y'all too, what if a man that was an Israelite, right? We knew he was an Israelite for whatever reason, we could prove it. He's an Israelite and he rises to power and he has the destruction or the well-being of America in his hands. He can make one move and destroy America. Maybe he got some secret information. He can send it to Russia. He can send it to China, right? He can send it to whoever he needs to send it to, and he know it's going down. Should he do that? Or, should he do that and single-handedly bring the destruction of America? Or, what should he do?
So I would say that you said the Most High did, because he said the Most High said that the vengeance is his, and you're basically intervening with the Most High. What he said he was going to do.
This goes back to what I was saying earlier. We got to learn to seek counsel of the Most High, and we got to know when the answer came. It's one thing to be able to pray for a lot of stuff. Most High, you want me to take this job or that job? You want me to move to Phoenix or you want me to move to Tennessee? Most High, you want me to do this? You want me to do that? But how do you know the answer? What method are we using to find the answer? Back in the day, the Levites had what? Y'all put it in the chat. What did the Levites have back in the day to know the answer? That I'm gonna give you 2 questions. What did the Levites have back in the day to know the answer of what the Most High was telling them, to discern what the Most High was telling them? And then secondly, what did common everyday Israelites do to know the answer and to understand and discern what the Most High was telling them? Let's see. Right? These are things that we got to meditate and think about. How would I, if the Most High put me in that position tomorrow, I wake up, I'm in that position tomorrow. Dang, the sister on it tonight, man. Look at this. The Umim and the Thumim. That's what the Levites had. We don't have that, unfortunately. Right? We don't have that. So they were able to discern the answer of the Most High by using these what we would call oracles. But we don't have access to that. So now how do we do it? And then another answer she said was seek the prophets, because that's another thing they did. Right? That's another thing they did. They sought the prophets and they was like, yo, should we take the stones over there? Should we burn them? What should we do with these stones? Mm-hmm. Right?
He burned something.
Yeah, I mean, you can burn anything. You burn it long enough. But think about this.
You ever heard of a fire pit?
Think about this, right? Or how you had whole cities that was burned.
I said, like, trying to make a world.
They use stone to build the walls or to build this and build that. Like, but think about these things, right? Another way, okay, be like Ant said, search the scripts. That's definitely a valid answer if it's a question that's going to be in the scripture. But what if it's a question that's not going to be in the scripture? What if it's like, Most High, do you want me to take this position that I know I'm gonna have to work on the Sabbath, but I only gotta do it once a month? Or should I take this position, which I'm not gonna have to work on the Sabbath, but I might possibly have to get another job and I might have to drive an hour every day? Or, you know what I'm saying? You know how we make these weird decisions sometimes, right? And we have to use our best judgment. Another way you could find out the answer is by casting lots. We can cast lots. The scripture says that the lot is cast into the lap, but every decision is from Yahweh. So even though I cast lots, it's chance, but it's the Most High who made the decision. Right? She said, fast and pray for discernment. That's always an answer. But this is the thing, though. Fasting and praying for discernment is beautiful, but when it comes to some of those more abstract questions of what we're trying to figure out, like which job to take or which city to move to, how do I know what the answer is? How do I know this is not just my heart or my spirit that wanted to go here? I wanted to go here, so now I'm fulfilling the desires of my flesh. Now, I didn't go here because the Most High gave me that answer.
Exactly.
I went there because I wanted to go there. Right. So that's a good one. But I would say we need to be more systematic about our prayer and discernment. Pray to him in the name of Yawasap. Hey, that's always an answer. That's always an answer. That's not a bad answer. Right. All of these are good answers. And what I'm saying is we have to have a systematic process on how to know for sure that the Most High is telling me to do this. Because I'm telling you, it's not written in this text. But that's why this class is called what it is. The Chronicles of Yawasap the Wise. Yawasap was moving in wisdom. And we know for a fact that he did not just make this decision. Yo, I got this dream. I'm going to just tell it to Pharaoh. Hopefully he put me at the top of the kingdom. And then he is no way he knew that. There's no way he foresaw that. I guarantee you he prayed to the Most High. The Most High gave him direction and discernment and was like, yo, remember Amos 3:7. The Most High does nothing unless he revealeth it to his servant, the prophets. Joseph was a prophet. I believe that the Most High revealed this through discernment to him one way or another. And this could be an instance where Joseph remembered the dream that he had back when he was with his brothers. He could be sitting back like, yo, hold up. I remember this dream I had when I was like the leader. And now I got the Pharaoh coming and asking me questions. He might have been connecting the dots. And he was like, oh, yeah, the Most High definitely lined this up. The Most High definitely lined this up. So I'm saying all that and I'm being long-winded, but I just need y'all to walk with me. Like, these are things we have to become masters at because it's a matter of missing the kingdom if you just don't do what the Most High set you in a position for. Because you didn't know how to read the signals or you didn't know how to seek the Most High for counsel and to get the answer. All right, let's keep going.
Hey, man, listen, I was just saying this earlier. I'm like, it's Iraq. It reads and it's talking about the sun, the moon, the stars, the grass, Everything is in its ordinance. And it is following the commandment and it's obedient.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was saying this out loud. I was like, what's wrong with us, man?
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? The Most High gave us a mind, a body, and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And we have such the hardest time to be obedient. You know, and it's all he asks, you know.
Yeah.
You never have no issues with the sun coming up. or the moon being out at night, so you're not in complete darkness, or the stars being in the sky, or the wind to blow and things. You know what I'm saying? It gives you heat at times to keep you warm. You know.
Yeah.
The scripture says that's obedient. It keeps the commandment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's the thing that makes us like gods, and it also makes us not like the Most High God.
right.
The thing that makes us like gods, remember in Genesis, when they ate from the tree of good and evil, the serpent said, what? You shall be like God, knowing good and evil. And that's not a lie, because God does know good and evil. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High knows that he will always choose good.
Right.
That's the difference. You don't. That's the one thing the serpent didn't tell you.
Right.
He didn't say, now you got to choose every time, stupid. He didn't say that.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's cold, man. It's cold. All right, let's keep going, man.
I played.
Yeah,
God. Verse, I think it's verse 32. And for that the dream was double unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will surely bring it to pass. Now, therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7th plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store in the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine.
He gave him all the game. Let me get Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Deuteronomy 4 and 6. I'm going to grab 1 Kings 4 and 34. All right. As soon as you get it, you can read it.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
But if you keep the knowledge for yourself, for the betterment of yourself and for nobody else, and you just allow everybody else to die, and you well, this knowledge ain't for you. How are they gonna have the chance to say this is a wise and understanding people? And would they say that? They would only say that if what you're doing benefits everybody. And remember, we were set on this earth to put the earth in order. So right now, what we're doing is we're showing the whole world this a little glimpse of what it would be like if you had righteous rulership.
Right.
Put the food in the storehouse for a couple of years. I'm gonna pray over it for you, so you ain't got to worry about that. All this stuff over here, do this, do that. Y'all come to me, and I'm gonna have you set up. You're gonna be good throughout them 7 years. Now people have an opportunity to say, "Yo, this dude Joseph, he really changed the game for us." Now they have to come out their mouth and confess that the Most High is the Most High.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen in this story, right? So we got to stop being selfish. It's not about us. When the Most High made us the top nation, it was never about us. It was always to give him the glory.
That's right.
Right? Let me get 1 Kings 4 and 34. Watch this. And there came of all people to hear the wisdom of Solomon from all kings of the earth, which had heard of his wisdom. And when they got there, do you think King Solomon was like, all right, not breaking no deep stuff down for y'all? That wouldn't have worked. They would have been like, yo, we heard so much about you. What you mean you're not breaking no deep stuff down? Like, they came there for the knowledge and wisdom that Solomon was giving them. And we don't even know the stuff that Solomon told them. We don't know the game he gave them that transformed their kingdoms. We'll never know. Solomon could have told you one thing, changed the whole game for your whole kingdom. Now your kingdom lasts 1,000 years longer than it was supposed to.
Right.
because you got this one nugget from King Solomon. Right? Let me get one more. Just to show you that this was always the goal. James 3:13. James 3:13, man. Boom, boom, boom. If you get it before I do, you can get it because my pages. All right, I got it.
James chapter 3 and verse 13.
Yep.
Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him shew out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom.
Now watch this next verse, though. Watch this.
God. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory.
Hold on. What are we talking about here? If you're a wise man and you have bitter envyings and strife in your heart, right? Watch this.
God. Glory not and lie not against the truth. This
I'm sorry. I'm walking through it with you, so you good. So if you have bitter envying and strife in your heart, remember you were already counted as a wise man, so you have a level of wisdom. But if you have bitter envying and striving in your heart, glory not, and make sure you don't lie against the truth. Why is it saying that? Because the Most High put that spirit in you to be wise in the first place, and I gave you that wisdom for the betterment of whoever you're around. Right? If you're Joseph, I gave you that wisdom so that you could deliver Egypt, so that when the children of Israel come through there later, you can deliver them too. Don't lie. Don't hold back the information I'm giving you. Don't hold back the wisdom that I'm giving you, because you're doing that for your own selfish desires, right? And watch what verse 15 says.
Hey, I can read this to 17, man. This is good.
Yeah,
this wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy.
And read the next one too. Next one good.
God. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace.
You see that? So our goal, we're supposed to be the peacemakers. We're supposed to be the people that set in this earth in order, not causing more chaos and confusion because we're hoarding the knowledge. In fact, that would actually go against Isaiah chapter 2. I'm not getting into that. But that would go against Isaiah chapter 2. In the last days, the other nations are supposed to see you and be like, yo, those are the children of the Most High. I'm going to go learn from them. But if you just kick them out and sent them down the street and told them, you know what I'm saying, cussed them out, told them it don't matter if his mama died, if you just did all that, is he going to now turn back and come back to you to learn from you in the last days? No. He will never come to learn from you. And now that prophecy can't be fulfilled through you because you created yourself to be a malicious and striving devil.
Right.
Exactly as that verse says. So let's finish this out real quick. Let's finish out Genesis 41 and we're going to be done.
God. Verse 37. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is? A man in whom the Spirit of God is. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the house will I be greater than thou.
Only in the throne.
Oh, Salakia. Yeah, only in the throne. Salakia. Verse 41. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bowed the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt.
Did Joseph force other people to bow the knee? I'm gonna stop, man. Maybe that's going too far. Maybe that's going too far. Did Joseph force other people to bow the knee, or did the Most High just make it happen? Because think about it. Do you really want to bow the knee to somebody? If I'm forcing you to bow your knee, bow down. If I'm forcing you to bow the knee, you're gonna have a level of resentment, and at the first opportunity, you're gonna uprise against me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't do it, if I just serve in humility and in honor, and it just makes sense for you to bow the knee, that's different. Because now you come in willing, and now I know I got a different type of servitude from you, because I came humility, I came humbly, and I came as I'm just doing the work of the Most High. It was never about me anyway.
Right.
Come on.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath Paaneah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt.
Now stop. So this means that Joseph was in Egypt approximately, because he was 16 years old. Remember, we read this. He was 16 years old when his brothers sold him into slavery. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom.
17
years old.
Okay.
Yeah, 17, 16 years old. I can't find the precept right now. Yeah, it's Genesis 37 and verse 2. He was 17 years old.
Yeah.
So what's so cold, in that same chapter, he was sold into Egypt. So now they telling you that he's 30. It's been 13 years since all of this has happened. Just something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of us would be very pissed after 13 years. You've been in slavery for 13 years, and 2 of those years you was in a dungeon, maybe more than that. But go ahead.
Verse 46. And verse
47.
Verse 47. And in the 7 plenteous years, the earth brought forth by handfuls, and he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the house. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he saith to you, do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands.
Right. So all praises, Barakatah Yahweh for the reading. I do want to leave y'all with this. I started with this story, and I'm gonna hit you with it one more time, and then you'll understand why I'm putting this here. Right? It's kind of like a parable. So, like I said, a man left his home country where they were experts in mining in gold, diamonds, and other costly things. And he traveled to a new country, and the locals there told him, those things that you have, the gold, the diamonds, and the costly things, they have no value here. We only value onions. So, to appease them and to fit into their society, he sold the gold, the diamonds, and the costly items and bought onions. The locals were very happy with him. They got along very well, and he grew very rich there. But one day he moved back home to his hometown, and when he arrived, the townspeople smelled the onions on his clothes and knew that something was different. He was rejected and counted as a fool by the villagers because he did not return with the gold, diamonds, and costly items that he left with. Now, the reason I'm going back to this story is because Joseph is the opposite of the man in this story. Joseph left the land with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High. And although he didn't change himself, although he didn't compromise himself to be like the Egyptians and to do everything they wanted him to do, right? He still kept faith in the Most High. He still maintained his spiritual balance, which is why he was able to interpret those dreams and able to forgive his brothers eventually when they came. And guess what? He was still raised to prominence. So a lot of the times, people will sell everything they have, all of their spiritual possessions, to get the worldly possessions. But if you would have kept the spiritual possessions, you would have got the worldly possessions anyway, man. So it's a really cold story. I love the story of Joseph, man. Appreciate y'all for being on here tonight. Go back and watch this from the beginning if you don't know why I brought that story out. But we love y'all. And shalom.
Slaki.
Yeah, Khan, go ahead.
Real quick before y'all leave. I don't know if you said it already before, but make sure y'all go into the website. I think it's anointhehouseofsaints.org, if I'm correct.
That's right.
So you can get your tickets for Passover, man, because Passover is coming up. It's right around the corner. Go ahead and get your Passover tickets now. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can get locked in, get y'all situations set up as far as where you're going to be at, whether it's a hotel, Airbnb. While the prices are cheap, if you get them at the last minute, that's when the prices skyrocket. You know, I just want to let people know that, because I'm like, I just dealt with some family stuff, and I'm like, it was out of spur of the moment. You know what I'm saying? Caught it at, I messed up. I was supposed to catch the price when I did, and I told my cousin, like, oh yeah, this where it's at. And he was like, I thought you got it then, but I went and waited another day, and it's like the price jumped up.
Damn, in one day. Yeah, it'd be like that.
It'll happen as fast as that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'd be like that.
So keep in mind those things. Also, this coming weekend down in Greensboro, North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? The Adawan, we got the school.
Yeah, we got the grand opening.
Right? Yeah. So if you are in the North Carolina area or surrounding areas and you're able to make the trip to go out there for the opening of the school, man, come and join us. You know what I'm saying? Come and fellowship with us and be merry, and let's give the glory, honor, and praise to the Most High for this, man. What else is there? trying to think if there's something else. Is there anything else? Anything else? You think?
That's all I got. That's all I got. We can hit it with Daniel 7-18.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever, by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua.
Hashem Hamashiach Yahushua. Hey, we love y'all. Shalom.
Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music, black music, black